Good afternoon, class. May I request everyone to please stand up for our opening prayer. May I request here to please lead us into our opening prayer.
Let us pray in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Glory be to the Father, to the Son, to the Holy Spirit.
As it was in the beginning, so now and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.
The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Okay, once again, good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, so it is nice to meet you all at this afternoon. So before taking your seats, so please pick up the pieces on the floor and under your chairs. And please arrange your tables or desks or chairs accordingly. Okay, so with that, before you will take your seats, let's have some energizer first. And I'm sure that all of you know this, the Ulu Abaga. Okay, do you know that?
Yes,
Okay, so let's start. So let's do that. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ulu Abaga, hawak dapi-dapi, tuhod diin, tuhod diin. Ulu Abaga, hawak dapi-dapi, tuhod diin, tuhod diin. Okay, very good, students. Thank you for your cooperation. You can now take your seats.
Thank you, sir.
So at this time, I will be checking your attendance. And once your name is called, please stay present and raise your right hand. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Platero A1,
Present, sir.
Cesar Paeng,
Present, sir.
Ganado Shane.
Present, sir.
Okay, it seems like all of you are present for today's meeting. So I'm still expecting that for the next meeting, you will still be in 101% attendance. Okay, is that a deal, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So before we will be starting our discussion, I have some rules that you need to follow. So the first rule is do not answer in chorus. So raise your right hand if you want to answer. The second one is do not use your cell phones if that is not needed. Number 3 is to keep quiet when someone is talking in front. And lastly is to respect each other. Is that clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with that, are you ready to learn?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Are you excited to discover new things?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so with that, I'm sure that all of you are with me to venture into the new journey of discovery and to learn new things. With that, I'm sure that you are all eager to learn new topic. So our topic for today's discussion for this afternoon is about the changes in the health dimensions during adolescence. And perhaps to have a guide for what should be achieved for this afternoon, we will be having this intended learning outcome or our objective. May I request someone to please read our objective? Yes, Aaron, please read our objective.
Upon the completion of this lesson, the students are expected to describe changes in different aspects of growth that happen to boys and girls during adolescence.
Okay, thank you so much, Aaron. So, our objective for today's lesson or for today's meeting is to describe changes in different aspects of growth that happen to boys and girls during adolescence. And we can only achieve this objective with your 100% cooperation and participation. So, I will be expecting for that student. So, is that a deal?
Yes,
sir.
Okay. But before having a proper discussion in regards to the topic, let's recall first what we have discussed in our previous meeting. So we have discussed about holistic health in our last meeting. So anyone who can give me a definition or description about holistic health?
Sir.
Yes, Patero?
Holistic health is often defined as a form of feeling that looks the whole person, including the minds, body, and the spirits.
Okay. Thank you so much, Aaron. So very well said. So according to Aaron, that holistic health is about overall health of the aspect of the person in terms of the body, mind, and the spirit. So now, what are those 5 aspects or dimensions of holistic health? Anyone? Yes, Cesar?
There are 5 aspects of holistic health, namely physical, emotional, social, moral, spiritual, and mental.
Okay, very good, Paeng. So, again, there are 5 aspects of holistic health: the physical, mental, emotional, social, and the moral spiritual. So now, why is it important holistic health in one's life? Yes.
Holistic health is important, sir, because it talks about caring the whole person, providing the physical, spiritual, mental, and social needs.
Okay, very good, very well said, Ganade. So, according to Ganade, the holistic health is important in one's life because it is about caring of the whole person, including the 5 aspects. So, do you have any questions or clarifications about our last topic?
None, sir.
Okay, so if there's none, I construe that all of you have understand and learned something from our previous discussion. I'm expecting that for today's lesson, you will still be absorbing lots of knowledge and facts about the changes of adolescence. At this moment, let's have some motivation. So let's motivate ourselves and let's have some glimpse of what should be discussed for today's meeting. So I have here a quote coming from Daniel G. Siegel. So it is about changes during adolescence. And all you need to do is to read and reflect what you have understand in this quote. Then I will be asking someone to share his or her ideas, insights, or thoughts about this quote. Is that clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I will be giving you 2 minutes to read and reflect on this quote. Your 2 minutes starts now. Okay, the 2 minutes is done. May I request someone to share his or her thought about this quote? Okay, yes, Cesar.
Based on what I have understand, in the quote of Daniel Siegel, the changes that we have experienced during adolescence are not just making us grow, but instead it becomes prerequisites to have a meaningful adulthood. That is why it is important to know the different changes that adolescents will be experiencing.
Okay, thank you so much, Cesar. So very well said. So according to Cesar, this quote entails that the changes that we have during adolescence are not just for us to grow, but it is a prerequisite to have a meaningful life in the adulthood. And also, Cesar further elucidated that it is important to learn and to know these changes for us to have a glimpse and insights or knowledge about the changes that we have experienced. So with that, let's explore the changes that you have experienced now in your adolescence stage. And to explore more in our topic, let's have an activity. So the title of this activity is We Are Growing and Developing. But before starting our activity, let me ask you one question. How old are you now? How old are you now, students? Yes, Aaron?
12, sir.
12.
I'm 14, sir.
14?
I'm 12, sir.
12. Sarah, you're 11. Then, Abigail, you are 16. Okay, so it means that you have a different ages, but still you are in the teenage years. So you are in the adolescent stage. And this activity is appropriate for your age. And are you excited for this activity?
Yes, sir.
So are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ready now? Ready now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so with that, let's know what this activity all about. So we have these mechanics. May I request Platero to please read the mechanics?
The class will be grouped into 4 based on their gender. Each group chooses a leader, secretary, and a presenter. C. 10 minutes is given for the group discussion and 3 minutes for each group for group presentation.
Okay, thank you so much, Aaron. So again, you will be grouped into 4 based on your gender. So may I request all girls to proceed here and all boys to proceed here. Okay. Okay, girls, divide your group into 2, and the boys also, there must be 2 groups for boys, 2 groups for girls. So group 1 will be girls A, and group 2 girls B, group 3 boys A, and group 4 boys B. So teacher, what we are going to do? So here are the things that you need to do. So your activity is to list your task to list down the changes that you have experienced or are experiencing in terms of physical, mental, social, emotional, and moral, spiritual. So since we have in different ages, and I'm sure that you are all experiencing some changes in these ages, so you need to collate that to form a good and informative output. So is that clear, students?
Yes, sir.
But don't you worry, because to make it easy for you, so I provided you a format. So follow this format. And also you'll be graded based on this rubric. So organization 10 points with 2 indicators. Content 30 points with 6 indicators. Presentation 35 points with 7 indicators. So that means that each indicator you will be scored 5 points. So total score is 75 over 75. Okay, so at this time, do you have any questions or clarifications regarding our activity?
None,
So
sir.
if there's none, may I request all the leaders to please get the materials for your activity. Okay, group 1, here is your materials. Group 2. Okay, group 3 boys. Group 4, here is your materials. Okay, so please open. So in that materials, that will be the materials that you need to use in the activities. So I provided that. And also, there is a rubrics there for you to have a guide on how you'll be graded. So, secretary, please write all the numbers at the back of the rubrics. And for the presenter, before you will be presenting your output, please pass the rubrics to me for me to have, for me to give you grades based on that rubric. Okay, so are you now ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so your 10 minutes starts now. So you may start working now. Okay, your 10 minutes is up, and your 10 minutes is up. So may I request everyone to please post all their outputs in front. So I have here tape. So can you post all your outputs? Okay, so at this time, class, we will be starting the presentation. So, presenters from each group, so please prepare. So let's start first for our first presenter coming from the group 1, the girls A. Presenter from group 1. So the stage is now yours. So let me have the rubrics.
Good afternoon, classmates. Good afternoon, sir. So this is the output of Group 1. So as you can see, these are the changes that happens and experiences of my group mates. So first, we have the physical changes. So it increase in height, increase in weight, development of the breast, development of pubic hair, growth of hair in armpits, menstruation, and pimples. So to my other girls classmates, if you are experiencing this kind of changes or physical aspect, it means it's just normal because we are now entering the adolescent stage. And now for the mental changes, they make better decisions, thinking deeply, thinking selflessly, more focus, improvement in memory and speed and thinking. So we have observed, sir, that during this stage, the person will become mature. And now let's proceed to the social
Okay, let's give a round of applause for the presenter coming from the group 1. So, very well said. So, very nice presentation, group 1. Okay, so let's proceed to the group 2. Okay, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation, group 2. Yes, let's proceed to group 3. So thank you so much for that informative information, boys. And then, lastly, for the group 4, so thank you so much for that presentation. So now, based on this activity, so all of you got a very good output. So let's clap our hands for that activity. Okay, congratulations for the job well done. For your scores, so group 1, I'll give them 75 points. Group 2, I give them 73 points. Group 3 got 75 points. And Group 4 got 73 points. So congratulations, everyone. So at this time, may I request the presenter coming from the Group 2 and Group 4 to please get your materials. And put it in below. Okay. So, okay, at this time, let's have a conceptualization based on our activity. But before that, may I request everyone to please go back to your proper seats with no silence. With no noises. Okay. So at this time, as what I've said, let's conceptualize based on what you have presented. So you have presented earlier the different changes that you have experienced. So as what we have seen, that in terms of physical changes, you may differ from boys to girls. But in terms of the mental, social changes, emotional changes, and moral changes, you are, there are some similarities. So do you see that? You observe that change, similarities and differences?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So I have here a set of questions that you need to answer for us to have conceptualization based on this activity that we have. So my first question is, at what age you have experienced some of these changes? Anyone? So what age is Aaron?
12, sir.
Okay, at the 12 years old, you experienced these changes. Yes, right?
Sir.
13 years old. Shane?
10, sir.
Okay, 10 years old. Okay, so based on your answers, it seems like all of you may differ from the age that you have experienced these changes. So it is normal because some adolescents maybe experience these signs of growth or these changes earlier or later than. But to be concise, girls may experience this at the age of 10 to 11 years old, and for the boys, 12 to 13 years old. And you need to, there is a point to ponder that all these changes may be similar from adolescent, but it may be unique from other adolescent. And these changes are all normal. So this one and those, so it is normal. So do you have any add-ups?
None, sir.
Okay, so that. So do you understand that this this one may differ from different ages?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. For our question number 2, for us to have a conceptualization, so what are some of the most typical changes that boys go through during adolescence? So look at here. So what are those typical changes? Okay, yes, Aaron.
Boys experience enlarges of their testes, panties, and there are also Adam's apple, sir, and becomes visible appearance of their hair, especially the chest, the face, the armpits, and also their voices changes.
Okay, so thank you so much, Aaron. So, also based on what you have, based on Aaron and what you have explained earlier, that these physical changes are most typical only for the boys. So, and girls may differ also from their physical, the changes that they experience in terms of their physical aspects. So, according to Aaron, that boys are experiencing in the enlargement of this testes and the enlargement of their penis. So, this is normal happening to boys, or this changes is normal or natural to boys. So this actually happens during 12 to 13 years old for boys only. So at these ages, the first one to enlarge is the testes. And after a year, the enlargement of the penis. So do you aware of that, boys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you aware that in 1 year after the enlargement of the testes, the enlargement of the penis will happen? And in the 13 and a half years old, you have said earlier that in the appearance of the pubic hair. So when we say pubic hair in our dialect, it is called bulbul. Okay. 14 years old, you will be experiencing, boys, we did not discuss earlier. So you will be experiencing nocturnal emission. When you say nocturnal emission, it is the wet dreams. So wet dreams, when you are only for boys, it usually happen for boys. So it happens when there is an excretion of seminal fluid from your penis. And during night, so when you're asleep, so there is an excretion of seminal fluid. So at the age of 15 years old, the development of the phases of, you have said earlier, so the development of the hair, in the armpit and the chest. So also the deepening of the voice and the appearance of the Adam's apples. Boys hold your throat. So okay, so there is a bump in your throat. So that is the Adam's apple, and it is just normal for boys. Okay. So there are also some of the other changes. So again, Adam's apple becomes appear, and then there is a shoulder becomes wider than hips. So your shoulders becomes wide rather than your hips, and your skin and upper arms become rough. So that is the other changes of the boys. So now let's proceed to girls. So what are some common changes that happens during to girls? So based on this. Okay, yes, Pianade.
So sir, based on what we have presented earlier, during the adolescence, girls will be experiencing breast development and suffer from menstruation. Besides, pubic hair and hair in the armpits also appear.
Okay, very good, Shane. So according to Shane, and according to the report earlier, the enlargement of the breast, the appearance of the pubic hair, the menstruation. So it is normal for the girls. So we have here point to ponder. Okay, so girls also experience pubertal changes, but they usually begin before than the boys. So girls will experience pubertal changes first before the boys. So each girl is different and may progress through these changes differently. So the average ages with the pubertal changes occur are the following. So the enlargement of the breast happens when you are 10 to 11 years old, right, girls? When you are 10 to 11 years old, you have seen there that your breast that changes in its size. So do you notice that, girls?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. So yeah. So and did you know that shortly after that enlargement of the breast, there is an appearance of your pubic hair?
Yes.
Okay, so that is normal during 10 to 11 years old. And during your 12 years old, the underarm hair begins to develop. So, and lastly, during your 10 to 16 and a half years old, the menstruation period. So some of you experience menstruation at the age of 10, 11, 12, 16, but also there are some of you experience menstruation at the age of 17, 20. So it may differ from one adolescent to another, and it is just normal. And also there are other changes, like for example, the curve of the whole body. So usually you experience the curve, the appearance of the acne. So that is just normal. Okay, so do you have any clarifications or questions about the...
None.
Okay. Okay, so last question for the conceptualization. Are there any similar changes in different aspects of growth that happen to boys and girls during adolescence? So there are similar changes. Anyone? Yes, Cesar.
Yes, both of girls and boys experience with the growth in height and weight. Besides, there are also similarities in the aspects of emotional, mental, social, and moral spiritual. We have differences in some of physical aspects.
Okay, very good, Baeng. So, you have presented earlier that boys may differ from one dimension, but there are also similar changes that happen to boys, both boys and girls, especially in the mental, social, emotional, and moral spiritual changes. But in physical changes, there are also similarities. So these are the rapid increase of the height and the weight. So you have said earlier. So, but boys experience this usually 2 years later than girls. So boys will experience first the rapid increase in their height and weight. Also the changes in the circulatory and respiratory system. And also there is a growth and development of the reproductive organ, in which this is the main reason why boys experience ejaculation or the excretion of the seminal fluid, and for the girls they experience the menarche or the menstruation. And lastly, the body composition, the muscles become so appear. So it is more typical for boys, but there are also girls who have experienced this one. So in the mental, the intellectual aspects, you have said in your presentation, so you have explained that you can think better, you become bored, you become thinking selfishly, thinking deeply. So that is right, and that is just normal. So for the emotional changes, the similar thing. That's what you've said. Some stresses that you have experienced, and these stresses are resulting because of the feeling of insecurity and self-conscious. For the social changes, there is also similarities. So most adolescents are very self-conscious because they want the judgment or the judgment of their peers. So they are more enjoy being with peers rather with their family. And this resulting to conflicts between peers and family. So the young adolescents may choose friends with the common benefits. So is that right? That you change, that you are choosing your friends with same benefits or same interests that you have?
Yes.
Yes, okay, exactly. For the moral spiritual, so our moral during adolescence, we are aware of our strengths and weaknesses. Is that right, students?
Yes, sir.
And we are also learned the house rules imposed by our parents. And also, during adolescence, both boys and girls, we are realizing what we want to become in the future. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have done discussing the changes of the adolescence in the different aspects of growth. The physical, the mental, the social, the emotional, and the social, spiritual. So do you have any questions or clarifications?
None, sir.
None,
So if there's none, let's apply what we have learned. So I have here 2 scenarios, and all you need to do is to read and comprehend. And afterwards, I will be giving you questions or backup questions in regards to the situations that you will be reading. So the first scenario, may I request someone to please read? Yes, Katero.
Maria is already 14 years old and she enjoys being with her friends. So she stays longer with them after school. Besides, they enjoy choosing clothes to wear. They also crave privacy. However, they sometimes cause conflicts between her friends and her parents.
Okay, so that is our first scenario. So with that scenario, we have this question. Is Maria experience a developmental change? Why? Yes, Ganali.
Yes, sir. Maria experienced a developmental change because she loves being to mingle or to bond with her friends. As an adolescent, it is common to us enjoying our time with our friends. Besides, choosing friends who have the same interests is also absurd.
Okay, very good, Shane. Very well said. So, yes, Maria experiencing developmental change since she wants to mingle with her friends. And what I said earlier, that, or as what we have experienced also, that adolescents are more prone to be engaging with their friends. So now, based on the scenario, what aspect of growth is changing in Maria? Anyone? Yes, Platero.
Social aspects.
Okay, the social aspect. For our scenario number 2, may I request Cesar to please read the scenario.
Your 10 years old younger brother noticed that he has acne on his face and body. It is stressing him out and causing problems in his life. You have learned in your health class that is just normal when a person is in the adolescence stage.
Okay, so thank you so much, Cesar. So based on that scenario, how can you convince your brother to believe that it is just normal? Yes, Cesar.
I will share with you what I have learned in my health class. I will educate him that it is normal for an adolescent to experience pimples or acne. I will also comfort and tell him that he still looks good despite having pimples or acne.
Okay, very good. Cesar, so you said that you will be educating him and share through him your knowledge about what you have learned in your health classes. Very good. So in that scenario, what aspect of growth is changing on the younger brother? Yes?
Physical aspects.
Okay, very good. The physical aspect. So now, let's assess what you have learned in this discussion or this lesson. So what we have discussed earlier. So may I request everyone to please get one whole sheet of yellow paper. Okay, so you have a one whole sheet of paper now. Okay, so you have. So this test will have in 2 parts. The first one is the identification, but I will give you 5 minutes to answer. And the second one is the Venn diagram. For the test 1, the identification, you need to write P if the statement talks about physical change, and then S for social change, E for emotional change, MS for social, moral, spiritual, and M for mental. Is that clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with that, I will give you 5 minutes to answer the first part of the text. Okay, your 5 minutes are now finished. So the next, let's proceed to test 2, Venn diagram. May I request Aaron to please read?
Draw a Venn diagram like the one below and within the outside area of the circle. Physical changes, characteristic unique among boys only, while on another area, those unique among girls only. Inside the overlapping area of the circle, write all the characteristics, changes of adolescence that are shared by both. Rubrics will be used for grading.
Okay, so very good. So you will be making a Venn diagram. So here you will need to put the changes that happen boys to boys. Then here, changes that happen only to girls, and the changes that they share both. So, and also these rubrics will be will be our basis for grading. The text support of comparison statement, 10 points. The placement of statements within the Venn diagram, 10 points. And the number of quality statement, 10 points. So do you have any questions or clarifications?
None, sir.
None.
Okay, if there's none, we now start the test 2. Your 10 minutes starts now. Okay, your 10 minutes is up. Please pass your papers in front of the count of 10. 10. No late papers will be accepted. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I will be checking this paper later, and we will be having a rationalization in our next meeting. So now, I have here an assignment for you, but it's just a simple assignment. So this assignment will guide you and will give you a glimpse on advanced knowledge to our next lesson that we'll be discussing. So you need to research and study in advance the different health concerns during adolescence. So, and with that, please prepare for the oral recitation for the next meeting. Is that clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, do you have any questions or clarifications?
None, so
None.
far,
Okay,
sir.
so if there's none, let's go back to our learning intended outcomes. So, we have said earlier that we need to achieve this learning intended outcome. So our objective is to describe changes in the different aspects of growth that happen to boys and girls during adolescence. So now, can you describe all those changes?
Yes, sir.
Can you describe all the changes?
Yes, sir.
I can hear your class.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay, so yes, sir. So in what way? So yes, Shane.
Yes, adolescent boys and girls are experiencing changes and different aspects of growth. It usually happens at the age of 10 to 11 for girls, 12 or 13 for boys. Adolescents may undergo significant changes in the health dimensions, in physical changes, mental, social, emotional, and moral spiritual changes.
Okay, very good. So congratulations everyone for that achievement that we have. So we truly achieved our learning intended or our intended learning outcome. So congratulations, Merry Christmas everyone. So please give a round of applause for that achievement. I'm still hoping that for our next discussion and meeting, we will still be achieving our objectives. So now, before we will be ending our meeting or discussions and class, may I request everyone to please stand for our closing prayer. Let us pray in the power of the Son of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
As it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end.
And amen. In the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Goodbye, class.
Goodbye and thank you, sir.
Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. So don't forget to do your assignment and always remember to stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
Bye, sir.